there's a number of instructors who, in my opinion, overthink practicing. And they take studies from other genres, other sports. I mean, some of them, like the majority of them are like this, based on this study that says you'll learn your math multiplication tables better if you don't just go 8 times 8 is 64, 8 times 8 is 64, 8 times 8 is 64, and you 8 times 8 is 64, 8 times 9, like, and move on. And I'm like, but I don't really understand how that applies to golf. Specifically, the one that's in sports is a guy from Arizona State did a study showing that the college programs that use live pitch batting practice, those players tend to go on to the major leagues more than the facilities that use T-ball or pitching machine. And I'm like, I got two problems with that. First, how did you control out the fact that the bigger programs are the ones that use live pitch? Like, you're not using live pitch at Sam Houston State. I'm not ragging on Sam Houston State. That's where I went my freshman year. Actually got a pretty good baseball program. That probably was the last place to use. But a bigger program is going to use live pitch because they've got more assets. The bigger problem, though, is how did you control out paying attention? Because if a human is throwing a fastball at me at 90, I'm going to be paying a lot more attention than if a pitching machine is throwing a fastball at me at 90. That's the key to practice. Whatever it is you're doing is figuring out how to pay attention. And so the studies, when these instructors try to use them, show like, well, all these different genres, all these different things show that randomizing your targets and randomizing everything makes you practice, it translates better to the course. And I'm like, again, golf is a no defense, no shared ball sport. So using a study from any other sport, in my opinion, is highly flawed for that reason alone. I don't care what happens in baseball. I don't care. Tennis, like a serve is kind of close-ish, but after that, you're reacting to everything. So the ball could be anywhere. You need to be able to hit it anywhere. In golf, it's totally up to me where the ball is relative to me, and it's totally up to me when I start the action. So it's a non-reactive sport. So that's the vast majority of why those other sports do better, and I do believe they do better by randomizing your practice. Block practice means just hitting the same shot at the same target over and over and over again. And this is what I think the layperson, again, that the podcast I used to be on, Lou, whatever, I'm sure we all know who Lou is. Lou trotted this guy out the week after I quit to try to like throw shade at me for block versus random. And I'm like, you're going to get in over your head here on this one, man. And I actually felt bad because I just dissected the entire podcast. Like, this is just all flawed. And then I felt bad though. So I sent the guy from Arizona State. I'm like, sorry for that, man. You kind of got in the weeds here of this. But it's entirely about focus and paying attention. And so hitting the same shot, what I was saying with the layperson is when I spoke with the guy from Arizona State, he was like, well, I mean, you watch these guys on the range, they're just doing the same thing every single time. I'm like, no, they're not. Like, the golf swing is inherently, it's got enough variability in it because they're trying to say like the brain needs to work these mapping processes and needs to reorganize itself for every time. Well, I did that wrong this time, so I'm going to do this right this time. And it's like, there's enough inherent variability in the golf swing, which is why the golf ball goes everywhere. There's enough of that already. We don't need to increase that. Again, I'll say, in my opinion, the key to all of this is I'm definitely not saying I'm right. I'm just saying, here's the flaws in what you're saying, because I do believe there are enough flaws that it's like, yeah, that study's not quite applied well here. That's not really applicable for this reason. I personally have witnessed myself as a good ball striker. This is what I do. I witness guys on the PGA Tour every single week. They've got their TrackMan set up. They've got their quad set up. By definition, they're not changing their target. You won't see a guy on the range at a PGA Tour event without his launch monitor anymore. Like, and so by definition, they are not changing their target. Now let's go to the putting green. Every single one of them has a putting mirror, a line over their start lines, a chalk line, some sort of a contraption into their chest. Like, no one's just out there rolling putts. They've all got their block practice stations. And so this is where I feel like it's a bit intellectually dishonest for the instructors to say you have to randomize your practice while sitting behind the guys on the PGA Tour who are 100% not doing that. I mean, again, the key to all of this is I don't disagree if you change your targets a bunch, you're probably going to slow down and pay more attention. I don't disagree with that. But that's not exclusive to random practice. You can slow down with block practice. It just takes effort. It takes understanding the point of slowing down. That's the key, in my opinion. And again, that's where, I know that this whole thing probably, I don't know how much video it is or not, but like when I practice and what I prescribe people to do is, okay, hit a shot, watch it. First of all, if you hit a shot and it was good, take a second and really feel in your body. Really, I don't disagree. The brain maps. Like I totally agree with that. And so if you've got something, bam, hit a good shot. Really feel that. Stand there, hold your finish for another second. Let your body feel what just happened. But then what I do is you hit that shot. Now we pull another ball over. Ideally, we would get all the way behind it. No one's actually going to do that. So what I do is I pull the ball over. I take this last step. I always take that last step in and then come in. I'm never just pulling a ball over and standing here. And that's one of the reasons, honestly, that hitting balls in a simulator is so hard and potentially unproductive is because it's really awkward to stand behind the ball. It's awkward to look left like you are downstream on a driving range as opposed to here indoors. Like you've really got to double down on trying to pay attention when you're doing it indoors because you can go brain dead really quickly.